We're visiting the Balearic Islands in Spain. They're located in the beautiful Mediterranean Sea. La Residencia Hotel is a quaint hotel surrounded by beautiful gardens and mountains. The views are spectacular from every room. I'm sitting and reflecting in the garden. What could be more beautiful than your very own pool at the hotel? This is one of the bedrooms with lots of comfort. This is another spectacular view from one of the rooms. Lunch at the hotel was superb, with the chef's best dishes. The outdoor pool is also the bestest.
My name is Inma. I come from Mallorca, a very beautiful island of the Mediterranean you should visit. Then here, within a few miles, you have plenty of different things to look at. You have beautiful nature like you can see here. One of the reasons why you should come to Mallorca is because of the good Mediterranean food we have, a very healthy food composed of vegetables, fish, very good meat too. Also, you have influences from whole Europe, so you can find here also some of the best restaurants in Spain.
There are florals everywhere on the property.
You should come to Mallorca because of the art. A lot of artists have taken this island to create. One of the biggest of the 20th century is the Spanish painter Miró. He was half Mallorcan and he spent the last 30 years of his life on Mallorca. So you visit Miró's foundation, you can enter his atelier. You can see where this genius created so many beautiful pieces of art. Also the buildings which houses his collection are quite interesting, being created by some of the biggest architects of the 20th century, like José Luis Sert and Monet.
The village of Valldemossa is very special. The stone houses date back to the early 17th century. The site of the Royal Carthusian Monastery is magnificent. This is the town where composer Chopin lived in the winter of 1838 through 1839. The Sea of Menorca roars like a lion. Isabel is enjoying the spectacular view of the sea. This is one of the communities next to the Sea of Mallorca. The Fornell Harbor and village is nestled like a pearl into the virginal north coast of the island of Menorca. What could be more wonderful than a sunny day on the island of Menorca? Its picturesque harbor and traditional town is known for its fishermen.
Binifadet is a project who started in 1989. My father bought a house at the other side of the village of Saint Louis. Saint Louis is a village founded by the French in 18th century. And he decided to plant 4 different types of grapes to see which kind of grape was going on better in Menorca. In 1982, we started to make wine at home, only for the family and friends. And at the end of 90s, we decided to make a business of this hobby of my father. So in 2000, we bought this land, this piece of land called Binifadet. Binifadet was the ancient land of all the village of San Luis. Here we bought 12 hectares. We have planted now 8.5 hectares between my parents' home and Binifadet, and we are producing 60,000 bottles per year. We are in process of planting 5 hectares more, and we will increase the production until 100,000 bottles. What we do is a fermentation process upstairs in a tank. We use grapes with not a lot of sugar, so what we make is a wine with 10 degrees and a half of alcohol. So this wine is put in the bottle with more yeast and a small part of sugar. So to retire all the yeast of the bottle, what we do is to put the bottle in this position. All the yeast will come on the top of the bottle.
Dinner is always a relaxing and enjoyable experience. Monte Toro's statue of Christ stands next to the 17th century sanctuary. The sanctuary of the Virgin of El Toro was built in 1670 on the site of the old 13th century Gothic church. Monte Toro is located in the center of the island, overlooking fields, farms, and mountains. The Tal enclosure was a religious center of the settlement. It's a semicircular apse forum and has a concave facade. One can observe the Cyclopean type of construction with paraments found by large stones with alternate columns that act as buttresses. Putumayo has the second deepest natural harbor in the world, and today it serves as the seat of the island and the Council of Menorca. Did you know that homemade mayonnaise was originally invented on this island? The British left their mark on the island. Mayo is the only city in Spain that features classical Georgian architecture with traces of English design from the door knockers to the sash windows. Menorca has more beaches than Mallorca and Ibiza put together. Gin was an influence of the British, and it's still a popular drink. During the British domination of the island, which was in the 18th century, you know the British always drank gin. So after the British left, they began to make gin, and he decided to take all the ingredients and show the people from the island how to make gin.
As here we don't got alcohol of grain, that is the one that the people used to do the gin. We used here the alcohol of wine, the grape alcohol. And why is located here in the harbor of Mahon? Because the British came with all the ingredients through the sea to this harbor that was the industrial zone those days, and that's why it's located here in Mahon.
The Saint Joan festivities start at Saint John's de Mesa, which is a little parish church.
My name is Isabel. I'm from Menorca, a tiny island in the Mediterranean Sea. I'm a private guide, and today we are going to see a festival, a typical festival of the islands. That is the biggest one that we have. It's a religious festival, and the more important thing is that are participating a lot of horses, and that is very beautiful to see. Today you are going to see a very special festival that just you can see here in the island. It's more than 170 horses with riders with special clothes, and those horses are jumping in 2 legs, and that one is very impressive to see.
The crowd at the games is enormous.
So here we are on the medieval games of Ciutadella, Menorca, that has nearly 800 years. Those medieval games are very interesting. You are going to see how they run all the way, and a crowd of people just seeing them and enjoying them. So are 2 games that you are going to see. One is a rider with a spear, and he must catch a ring. And the other one is that 2 riders will ride together. As you saw in the images, the first day we go to the Mass.
The crowd gathers and separates like a wave of electricity as the horses race down their path.
And then we go around the city, the Ciutadella city here in Menorca.
Fishermen dock their boats in this canal. The windmill sits in the square in the old town. This is the old town, and it has lots of historic buildings. Ciutadella boasts most cobblestone streets and buildings, and it's steep in history. Wandering through these streets brings me back in time. Tucked away from a maze of narrow streets is the Cathedral of Menorca. Apollodore Deli offers the best prosciutto and other deli products.
Cheers!
Cheers.
Horses are invited into homes as a symbol of good luck. There's a belief that touching the horse's heart as he rears on his back legs brings good luck, which is why so many people gather around the horses.
You know, when I think of a holiday, I think of the Balearic Islands. It's Spain, it's culture, it's beautiful history, and we're here on Menorca, and we celebrated an incredible Saint John's holiday. And it was incredible with the horses, and the galloping, and the excitement of the crowd. Each Balearic Island is so very special. When you come here, you will feel like you have died and gone to heaven. Until next week, I'm Jon Haggins, the GlobeTrotter. Remember, get up, get out, and travel!
Horses trot through the town at the end of the festivities. I had so much fun on my visit to the Balearic Islands. It was so inspiring and educational. I hope to see you next week at another fantastic destination around the world. So long for now.